done so through Benjamin Frederick. Well, what a chance, really and truly.
Well, that was glorious. It was so industrious. 3 players to pick out, and maybe
yellow cards do not carry over. And
to 31 goals now in 45 okay Thursday night. 5 goals in his last 2 games for his country. 7 overall in the qualifiers. Mohamed Amoura, the top scorer in the African series with 10. He was not where he expected him to be.
Iron goal mouth incident, but it doesn't need to be. Today is about the win. And right now, Nigeria are getting it. Sami on the overlap. Lukau. Joined Lille from Mechelen just over a year ago. Sami again. The squad that won all the way to that and his 11th international appearance tonight. Featured in the Olympic Games 4 years ago in Tokyo. Obviously, a lot of the football wasn't played in the host city, as is always the case.
It's interesting that you mentioned the African teams that played in the semi-finals. You wouldn't expect them to be meeting in a playoff match for one to stay alive, I suppose.
It's the way it's worked out. Osimhen in towards the middle, trying to pick out Lookman. Well, it's the way it's gone for both. He's on a goal. It's the highest number of African teams ever at a World Cup. It'll be a 48-team World Cup. 9 African teams definitely there. And tonight's winner is being there. Guadalajara and Monterrey being the likeliest venues, and then for the right to potentially play there again. The World Cup. It's a lovely ball pushed forward by Meshak Elliott. He's brought it on well to Bakambu. Continue the run down the middle, and it's in! Elliott's there! 1-1. He started it, and my word, how did he finish it? Goal, and it's 1-1 in the playoff final.
Nigeria losing the ball in midfield, and then the counter-attack which I spoke about early on. This is what DRC are so good at. Meshak Elliott made the run, had the vision to get in behind the defence, and this is precisely what you want. You want
Michael, as there were only the top 4 runners-up who made it. And remember, there was a stage when Nigeria were struggling to finish even second. Results went their way. Had to win their last 2 to have a chance. Beat Lesotho, beat Benin, that important away draw against South Africa in Bloemfontein. The edged 1-0 win at Rwanda. Remember, it's extra time and penalties tonight if needed, and at the moment, they would be needed. Long way to go yet. Maybe a long, long way to go. Pushed back towards Mpasi by Chancellor Mbemba. Long-standing captain, the most capped player in DRC history, or the OD. What not have done. Just past Mbuku. Another Parisian by birth. Silver boot in the Under-17 World Cup. In performing for France, got a hat-trick against Australia, scored against Spain, scored against Brazil. Went out the last 4.
pick out positions whereby you can pick out your teammates. If you work well to recycle possession, it will help your chances, especially with creating those opportunities moving forward.
All right, now let's head back to the Moulay Hassan Stadium in Rabat to enjoy second half between Nigeria and the DRC.
Process. They went for a group stage and then into.
All set to go again. Back. At least 45 minutes to go. Extra time if necessary today. Penalties if necessary today. It resumes at 1 apiece between Nigeria and the DRC for a spot in March's Intercontinental World Cup playoffs, where the final 2 places for the World Cup will ultimately be decided. There are quite a few big names who are still waiting, quite a few in the European playoffs, Italy included. Added by Stanley Wabali, and how quickly and how almost effortlessly they were broken through. Victor Osimhen. That's a big call.
Big moments does Adams. He's got a really good run as well. 3 international games, 2 international goals. He's done nicely for Nigeria. He'll be looking to continue his scoring ways for the national team. He'll be looking to continue his scoring ways for the national team.
Try and find out for you if something has happened. Try and find out for you if something has happened with Victor Osimhen. But not out for the second half. Nico Adams take his position. Nico Adams take his position, having opened the scoring. 2 goals in his first 3 internationals on his debut against Lesotho, and then in normal time in Thursday semi-final against Gabon. Semi-final against Gabon.
It is a massive call, and Echo Adams is again answering that call. Moreover, the bigger line is the man who's gone off. And how
to Sevilla from Montpellier after 18 months there, moved at the start of this year. Knocked away by Mutasami, right down the line, but it's knocked away by Mutasami, right down the line, but it's knocked away by Calvin Bassey.
How about the World Cup, making the knockout stages in 3 of their 6 appearances since their debut in the United States in '94, including in '74, as you say, when they went to the World Cup as Zaire for the first time. A promising side. And the great Wilambandai Utubala, as he was nicknamed, which translates as assassin, scored 9 goals in the 1970 promising side. And the great Wilambandai Utubala, as he was nicknamed, translates as assassin, scored 9 goals in the 1974 African Cup of Nations and became the first African player red carded at a World Cup. Mistaken identity in 1974. It was against Yugoslavia, 20 odd minutes into the game, they lost 9-0. Already 4 was against Yugoslavia, 20 odd minutes into the game, they lost 9-0, a record scoreline defeat. This is a side that is desperate to get back, and they believe they've got the talent and the ability to do so, but they've got to overcome a Nigerian side that is instilled with belief with a host of opportunities, a host of players looking to prove themselves with the opportunities given to them, and Adams is among those players.
I wonder if something has happened. Best player of African origin in Belgium, that went to Tolu, who was league top scorer, and he's on the bench for Nigeria again tonight, having come on late for Osimhen in extra time in a semi-final on Thursday. The circumstances are different now. Remember down, and up he comes. And his arrival is Benjamin Frederick being moved over to the right-hand side, and he's had at times an uncomfortable time of it. Sanusi short for Bassi again. Miss, and here they come, Bakambu. Solid ball in towards the middle. Now the opportunity's coming here for the DRC again. Big deflection! Tracked wide in the end. The opening was there. Temptation for Noah Sadiki, definitely. Very good opening for Sadiki.
Yeah, running onto it nicely. Powerful drive with the left boot. Out for the corner, so they've still got the set piece opportunity. They maintain their pressure on the Nigerian defence here.
Corner came in, a little flick of the near post that was nifty and crafty. Bakambu there. It was goal bound. It was a real threat suddenly. Certainly a different complexion up front about Nigeria now. Just ran short of the new arrival Edgar Adams. And indeed he lost that, and here come the DRC again down the right hand side, and they're looking threatening. The Kambu pointed the way in the middle. Important cut out, vital by Semi Ajayi. Got there first, the Hull City man. Fifth in the championship, the second flight in England right now. A lot on his shoulders tonight, well gathered by Stanley Wabali, who had his eye on it. Then his hands on it, more importantly.
Maybe, just maybe signs from the DRC that they still have the ability to pounce at any given moment with that Noah Sadiki effort that deflected wide. They look to still dictate the tempo of this game.
Lots of big football coming up on Sporting TV, live and free. Boca Juniors against Tigre tonight. Let's open up a little bit. In the end by Lionel Mpasi. Tomorrow night it's the Baller League, that's at 9 West African time. Friday Al Ahly against Al Qadsiya. Liverpool Forest Saturday. DRC looking threatening, plenty up. Open up in front of goal again for Mukau. A couple of important blocks. Going to get near side. Quite pick out Noah Sadiki. He's not quite coming the ball as much as he usually does at club level. He's involved a lot. Normally picks it up much on the wing, and then he does get it. And Sadiki's making a break back into the area. He's gone down, but his play on. Here's Masuaku. He's come out wide, nudge from behind. Referee's not interested. It was a brilliant break forward. Well, it was Masuaku who took up the story in the end, and Siddiqui, great burst forward. Challenge to the back coming from Benjamin Frederick.
Yeah, Frederick's not too aware of what's happening around him, and I'm not entirely convinced he was 100% focused on trying to win the ball in that passage of play. That said, Nigeria making some changes here. They've looked very, very flat since Osimhen has made his way off the park, and they really need to regroup. They really need to find their feet. So Jaquez and Lookman making their way off again provides opportunities for bright young talents, but Moses Simon, that's Ijuke, who's undoubtedly wonderful talent in Sevilla these days in Spain, but Moses Simon adds some versatility and mental strength and resilience on the park, and maybe he can help the side regroup that Osimhen was able to do in the opening half. But what is concerning for Nigeria here is the fact that DRC have had 3 runs into the Nigeria penalty area in the last 10 minutes, and you don't want to be allowing your opponents to be getting shots in from inside the 18-yard area.
3 changes made, 2 to go for Nigeria. Ijuke on for his 10th international appearance, his first goal coming on Thursday night in extra time against Gabon to give Nigeria a lead they never lost. Moses Simon on for appearance number 87. 10 goals in that time with FC Paris now. 3 goals in 12 games, they're 11th in Liga. At the Stade Chambon, a very short stone's throw away from PSG in the Parc des Princes. You don't even need to throw a stone there. It's opened up again, and Buku's there into the area. Good chance for control. Bakambu, they've got loads up. Bakambu again went down and threw himself down a bit. Handball against him. It'll be a free kick to Nigeria, but they are beginning to look like they are grabbing the upper hand, and Nigeria have to respond a bit here.
Watch Mudusami, who picks out well. You don't get to see it in this passage of play. The ball going into the arm of Bakambu as Elia plays it into the passage of the on-rushing Spanish-based striker. But again, a 4th probe into that run in recent minutes. DRC are throwing a lot in Nigeria. The defence needs to hold firm if they are to stand any chance of qualifying for the Intercontinental Playoffs. That was Bakambu's last involvement, however.
His way off.
It's not going to get any easier here, because one of the fastest strikers from the DRC, Fiston Mayele, is making his way on. He was almost unplayable at times for Pyramids in the CAF Champions League this last campaign, as they beat Mamelodi Sundowns in the final to claim their first continental crown. He is pacey, he's got an eye for goal, and he is ambitious. All the traits you want in a starting striker. Now looking to make an impact off the bench.
Little changes to the squad from last time out. Marius Stroikens is on the bench tonight for the DRC, obviously. Semi Ajayi promoted to being on the pitch for Nigeria. Right on the hour in Rabat.
Nigeria need to find a way of preventing DRC from making those fast-flowing, flamboyant runs into their area. Again, Frederick is down, touching onto the inside of his right knee here.
It's well hit, but it's going to be well claimed by Lionel Mpasi. It certainly doesn't look like a logical tactical change. You imagine there must have been some issue with Osimhen. It became apparent during the half-time break.
He was getting opportunities. Brilliant blazing one from an angle just before half-time that was blocked, which was well on the way.
out and out danger man. As usual in terms of club level. Talk about potential of him moving on from Galatasaray. He's still only 26 as well. 5 glorious years at Napoli, which included his Scudetto and that Turkish double last season.
Yeah, sensational spell at Napoli, doing what only really Maradona had done previously for a Napoli side. Dragged them to the top of the Serie A standings, claim a Scudetto. Went on to be named CAF Footballer of the Year.
Sami, chance of the cross from Mbuku has come all the way through, invitingly in front of goal. What a chance! Wan-Bissaka blocked down, big chance for DRC. Nigeria with a chance to bring it away. And Moses Simon brought a lot of pace to the left-hand side when he came on as sub in the semi-final win against Gabon on Thursday. Looking to do the same here. Sami getting it away, but what an opening suddenly emerging for DRC on their previous attack. Not necessarily a free shot in front of goal, but a shot nonetheless. And almost major cost to Nigeria. They faced hardly anything for the opening half hour, frankly. Before the goal, bit of calm, bit of cooling off being desired by Stanley Wabali. Just knock it around a little bit and take the pace off. Possession's been pretty much 50-50 now across the game and across the second half. It's a time when Nigeria had a lot more of it, about 60%. I think half an hour in, and a little bit of backing in from Nico Adams, and that'll be a free kick.
Genuine credit to the way DRC have turned this game around. They were on the back foot 3 minutes in when Onyeka scored the opening goal. Nigeria very much in the ascendancy, controlled matters in the opening 20-25 minutes of this tie. They have come back splendidly. Nigeria now need to work the momentum shift. A few key players for Nigeria just being neutralised. And Sami's reading of this game, I think, has been utterly outstanding. He generally doesn't get the plaudits he deserves, but I think today, again, just stand up in neutralising many Nigerian efforts, again, putting pressure on the right man. And he's one of 2 players who's constantly on Iwobi when he's not reading where the ball is going.
And Mbuku over the top, dangerously so, and almost perfect for Fiston Mayele of Pyramids. 2 goals in his 8 league appearances so far, former league player of the year whilst in Tanzania with young Africans. Conference Cup top scorer, league top scorer the same year, 2023, goal of the season. And obviously did the double with young Africans back-to-back as well before going to Pyramids and winning the league there, and a very long run in the Champions League. Almost saw them in the Club World Cup, but it's given away again right in the centre of the park. And somewhat cheaply so too. Masuaku. Sami has support from Michael Ayal Mukau alongside of Lille. Clever little ball across the way. He's an Antwerp boy originally, came through Mechelen. Here's Noah Siddiqui, knows Macau very well for club and country, and it is a free kick against. Well, he uses his pace well usually to get a cross in. Would have been a goal kick anyway.
Yeah, fair enough call from the referee. The referee's calls have been good. The penalty appeal was correctly denied. The referee has taken a few opportunities as well to speak rather sternly to a few players when cautions might have been issued. His man management's been really good today. Look at the pressure that DRC are continually putting on Nigeria. When they're in their final third, not an overly high press from DRC, but the moment they get
the free kick away, it's as if he was going to win possession there for a bit. So putting the pressure on, big time in Chidera Ujeke. He still feels like a very new name. He's 27. I've been on CSK's books for 4 years. Crossed in towards the middle. Suddenly whipped away to Nzebi there. Somewhat obvious one though.
Yeah, fair call, nothing marginal about that. It's a rare break for Nigeria into capable of beating the very best of the continent. Nigeria would know that. They themselves know that they are one of the best. The pedigree, the heritage they come from. They are to qualify for the continue that and improve on that.
Mayele is given the free kick away again. Records to be held up, but history. At the moment, all square between these two. Very long gap. The DRC are looking to beat 52 long years. Habit of going far at Africa Cup of Nations tournaments. Cote d'Ivoire seeing them off the last two occasions they've been in the semi-final. South Africa did it as well once upon a time. Now, Edu Kembe of Watford being readied, and it is Nagal Ayal Macau who will be departing. It's their second change in the DRC, and also Elia is going off as well. And coming on, Brian Chipenga of Castellón, who made 2 to go.
Yeah, Kembe, very solid player in his role, and versatile as well, but it's Brian Chipenga is quick. He is lightning fast. I'm surprised that he's not playing for a slightly bigger team, a slightly more a team that's a little more recognised perhaps. He's got all the ability and talent to produce wonderful runs, to find fast-flowing finishes. He hassles defenders in a way that very few do from DRC. And Bissau, I suspect, is going to ask him to do exactly that, particularly with Bassi and Ajay.
Chipenga is one of those who departed at an early age, born in Kinshasa, moved to Portugal, broke through Portuguese football, was in the Famalicão side who were pushing very high in the league in 2020. Ended up at Paços de Ferreira and left them for the clients last year in Castellón. It's a low ball in by Edo Kembe. Joris Kembe, also on the bench tonight, who had started last time of Racing Genk, who are just off the title playoff spots in Belgium, where he's originally from. Another Bruxelles. 17 minutes of normal time to go. Extra time. A growing possibility. Wan-Bissaka getting it out wide, and further so. So Bakambu's gone, Elia's gone, the two men who combined for the goal. And Macau, who'd won it originally to get the ball forward. They've all been withdrawn. It's a corner.
Wenger hassling. He's in the corner here. Set-piece opportunities for a side that is traditionally very good from set pieces. Mayele dangerous. Mbemba always dangerous from set pieces.
has shown his mettle again. The stoppage time winner against Cameroon to sink Cameroon, who up with Nigeria as being the highest ranked side left in the playoffs, but they didn't make it. Sami, wild, very wild. 16 minutes remaining, it's 6 attempts for Congo if you want to count that. Democratic Republic of Congo, 3 for Nigeria. We might be generous and counting that as a chance.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the right decision in the end for somebody who's made so many good decisions in the game so far. Again, underneath the ball here. They've done all the hard work of getting into that Nigerian 18-yard area on numerous occasions. They just need to be a little more clinical once they're there. Credit to the Nigerian defence for the way they've managed to defend under pressure inside their own 18-yard area. DRC, if they continue that trend, you've got to feel that something's going to break your way if you're in the right place often enough.
And remember, well, that's the situation with 15 to go, 1 apiece in Rabat. DRC are having a lot of the better of it in this second half. In truth, play's going to be halted for the time being with the ball at the feet of Samuel Mutasami, which may well frustrate him a bit. Yeka with an astonishing start to the game. Having gone down there. I still love the days of contested drop balls. It was a little bit of extra colour in the game.
A few flailing legs.
Sometimes. Maybe so for Mbuku here. It's surrounded. Stopped by Ndidi. Siddiqui in his way. Managed to get a little flick. Ndidi can get a proper clearance on that. Besiktas now, having joined them from Leicester City. He'd been there a long time, 8 years in total, having joined them from Genk. Joined them yet to score in the league for Wolves, rock bottom of the table, and he's on for Alex Iwobi. They've one change left to make in the 90 minutes. Tolo won for his 10th cap for Nigeria. Player of the year, won the Ebony Shoe. Just running into Bassi. That'll be another free kick. We have had 34 in the game, and it is perfectly 17 fouls each.
Nice symmetry. Big challenge on Ndidi. This time a little too much pressure from DRC. They've given away a few free kicks that they would like to have back, perhaps. This is a rare opportunity for Nigeria to have a set piece inside Congolese territory in the second half.
Moses Simon setting it up. Chance for Sanusi, attacking well. It's too high for Tolu. For once, it's too high for Tolu. Chance for Azuke to pull it back. No success this time, though. Benjamin Frederick. Back for Frank Onyeka. Pulled back into the heart of the defence now. Sanusi. Edu Kayembe not allowing any chance to break on the far flank. It's tempting, and Tolu might find a way in, and he's got a touch onto it as well, Tolu. Right in front of goal. 2 goals for Everton in the League Cup so far. 2 goals for Wolves against Everton, against Chelsea. Nothing doing yet in the league. He's got a new coach in Rob Edwards coming in as manager. Scored against Russia, the 1-1 draw, and the winner against Rwanda.
This is interesting now because that change with Iwobi coming off and Tulu coming on does mean a change in formation now for Nigeria. So they're actually playing two up front. Nyeka and Didi are flanked now by Simon and Ejuke. In goes Ejuke. They're playing two up front.
Just couldn't get the run of it and stopped by Mutasami. 11 minutes of normal time to go. One change left for Nigeria and two for the DRC, plus an extra one to come in extra time. Bakambi, you might have just seen, almost up on the touchline, having come off 20 minutes ago. Looking for a bit more urgency in the DRC attack. He's not wrong, to Nzevi. Their backmen are pressed up towards the halfway line and they're pushing further up. Here's Noah Siddiqui. Didn't want to take his man on. It's interesting. It's normally at club level he does every time. Knocked around well, Wan-Bissaka. He's further up now and staying up almost permanently. Sepenga. Constant old joust. It's gone through Samuel Mutasami. Masuaku. Many appearances for Sunderland this season and taken up by Sepenga well. Now can he get the ball in? He's gone for the cross early. It was astute, it was clever. It's Noah Siddiqui. Looks for the curl. Tries to get it right down the middle. Sepenga stayed up. Mayele alongside, but now here comes the Nigerian break. Much going through Moses Simon as had been the case on Thursday night. Tolu waiting in the centre and the chance to cross wasn't properly taken first time, maybe now. Speculative is probably the word for that, inaccurate, another one. And here's an opening. Chance of the cross to be put in by Ejuke, it'll bounce through again. Moses Simon keeping it in, keeping it rolling. Cross wasn't bad and Tolu couldn't reach it, well claimed by Mpasi. And now the DRC looking at the counter-attack. They've got four coming forward here. Lots of potential, good ball wide on the right-hand side, and that'll be a free kick given against Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And he's up in attack all the time now.
Well, that was brilliant for Bassi. Read the play and put his body on the line for his team. Comes across. It's mature football. Nigeria are working their way back into this game. They've got some taller players on now. If they can win set pieces in and around that 18-yard area, get themselves into a position, draw DRC out of their compact position, draw some of the fouls by testing them, you could earn free kicks that they could well test Mpasi from.
Throw. Now opportunities for a break on the near side. Sepenga stayed on up. And it's been cut out, and they've got two here. Sepenga with a chance, it's cut out by Wabale. That was the moment to maybe win the game, and it's called as offside anyway. Belatedly the flag up, that's the way it is done these days. But that was almost a big, big giveaway by Wabale in the Nigeria goal.
Oh, big shake of the head here from Fista Mayele. Sepenga misses out at a chance to score. Good pressure again, hassles Frederick, and then Wabale. This is one of the areas he's been criticised on. He recovers nicely, makes the save, goes down to deny Sepenga, who tries to score through his legs with a little nutmeg, but again, Wabale not exactly covering himself in glory at a time that is most critical for Nigeria. One of the all-time greats, remember him shooting to prominence at Enyimba under Okiamordi in 2003, 2004, and they won back-to-back CAF Champions League titles. And the rest is history. Over 100 caps for Nigeria. Was the all-time caps winner until Ahmed Musa passed him a few years ago.
Good ball into the box. It's Sami. And Mayele holding it up and going down. Actually, for that previous opportunity, Mayele had got the first touch and then Chipenga took over, but he was in front of him, so hence a very quick offside. Nice ball in by Siddiqui. It was Calvin Bassey who was the brick wall. That could not be passed by Fiston Mayele. Waiting on the edge of the box to try and pounce. Too many white shirts around. 5 minutes of normal time to go, plus stoppages. And then it would be extra time in this African World Cup playoff final, without a World Cup place directly attached. Ticket to the final playoff tournament is waiting. Whipped in by Mbuku, but no way through. Another chance coming here. Aaron Wan-Bissaka staying up. And a curl on it. Just about sit up and stay in. Brian Chipenga again. Back towards Masuaku. Cross good. Lashed away. Zaidu Sanusi. Doing it directly and solidly and firmly. I don't think Nigeria have looked like scoring in this half at all.
No, they haven't. They haven't. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I just am concerned about the leadership that's not on the field right now.
They seem slightly aimless. It have been easily dealt with. Chance of the break coming. They do have a good front man in Tolu there.
You don't have Lukman on the pitch. You don't have Iwobi on the pitch. You don't have Osimhen on the pitch. Yes, indeed, he is still there and very much holding things together, and Shemi Ajayi certainly adds an element of leadership on the pitch as well, and Moses Simon to an extent. But you don't have that overall sense of leadership that maybe somebody like William Troost-Ekong could bring off the bench. His touches today have been poor, to be fair.
Right now it's about holding on to possession, not losing it, not giving a late goal away. And it's a free kick to Nigeria here. 3 minutes of normal time to go. Quite a lot of big names no longer on for Nigeria, and that's going to be a bit of a worry as well. Osimhen's departure at half-time. Anyway, if it was a tactical call, you've got your story for tomorrow. Long free kick by Calvin Bassey, aimed towards Tolu, who couldn't quite reach it. Took a while for the goals to flow from in European football, but once they started, they did not stop. Well, until he went to Wolves, but there's a reason for that.
A dramatic pause and then that line.
Yeah. It's like repeats of what happened to Paul Onuachu as well, unfortunately, going to Southampton. Anyway, push forward. Here's Noah Siddiqui. He's got it out wide. He's got it out wide very well. Chipenga, crossbar post. Big opportunity to get the spectacular volley in. And why not? From Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Lovely play. Again, plenty of pace in the build-up here. Ball out wide. Chipenga this time, little cut back inside, creates an opportunity to feed without the pressure from the defender on him. Clever play. This time crossed just about right. Slightly in behind the two attacking players that were waiting in Mbuku and Wan-Bissaka. But I mean, players standing in attacking positions, not suggesting that Wan-Bissaka is an attacker. It does. Let's take us into the 90th minute with these sides still deadlocked, no goals in the second half.
He is right now. He's not scored for West Ham this season. He's never scored for the DRC. He didn't score underage for England. 190 appearances for Manchester United, scored twice during that time. He's not a man about whom goals are about, but he's going up and staying up for the DRC. He's the man who's closest right now to Mbuku as well, as he comes into the area. Tried to slam something away. Tolu. It's not good news for Nigeria that their current out-and-out front man is where he is in the pitch, deep in his own half. Three minutes of added time at the end of the 90 minutes in Rabat, and then it would be extra time, and it could go beyond that. Tolu first got spotted playing in Ligue 2 for Amiens. They have a very good youth setup there. They some very good young players from outside as well, and he was front of the queue. He'll drop again for Zipenga, but it will be a free kick. Frustration for Fils of Mayal. It has been a very scrappy second half.
Going up for a big challenge. Oh, he takes it in the face from Mayele, who's rising up into the face of Bassi. He's really put his body on the line in this second half. Trying to work it out. So Wan-Bissaka has what, about a goal every 75 games between club and country?
It's about that, yeah. It's about that. I mean, sometimes it works. It's a big game for the DRC to do it. I don't know if Theo Bengonda in the squad today. No way right now of getting the ball up to Tolu either, and we're in the last minute of added time. It's taken away by Brian Zipenga, making his way in towards the Nigeria area. It's well covered by Benjamin Frederick, and that's a corner. Corner for the DRC right at the end of the 90 minutes. And they've nothing to lose here.
Yeah, correct call as well. Comes rolling off the toe of Benjamin Frederick. Set piece chance. This is where somebody like Chantal Mbemba and Fiston Mayele traditionally shine.
Wasted corner, claimed by Wabali and fouled. And that is very good news for Nigeria. They had plenty up. Couldn't find any of them. That should be it. An extra in Rabat, Nigeria half-hour mark, and a very uneventful second half. Opinions from Lagos to follow, but at the end of 90 minutes, it's Nigeria 1, the Democratic Republic of Congo 1, and that means extra time will follow.
Us, they have basically taken over the midfield from us. As it is.
Now, Gideon, we saw moments in the second half where Stan Nwabali made an error with a pass that he was closed down. Like Blessing mentioned, the Congolese are coming in with every form of attack that they possibly have, And you said this earlier on in the build-up that you are hoping that Nwabali will have a game whereby he will be calm and there will be no errors. It is extra time now. We can't afford to have an error from the back, and there will be no errors. It is extra time now. We can't afford to have an error from the back now, can we?
We can't even afford to have an error from anywhere. Because from what Blessing mentioned, what we saw in the second half, there were a lot of times where the Super Eagles players were camped in their own half. And that wasn't what we saw.
I think that was the entire second 45, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Because while I was trying to, still be a little positive about it, the second half displayed the lack of coordination in the attacking third, also in the midfield. It was completely. It was disappointing in the midfield. It was completely. It was disappointing to see words in check, and whatnot. Even Nwabali again. Certain moments where, okay, your team is on the back foot. Okay, your team is on the back foot. You're considering to invite much pressure to yourself. Look at that slip up he almost had at the back. Now, ability, given what they were sluggish, winning the second balls, and I think that was one of our biggest problems. The subs have struggled to even make impact, struggled to even touch the ball in the first place. So I think with how well they keep the ball, hold the ball first before you can even create chances in the first place.
All right, now it's time for us to head back to the Mole Hassan Stadium for the first half of extra time, and it's all important.
Through the campaign here in Africa over the last couple of years.
Moments to test and to trial Stanley Nwabali.
One of them is I'm worried about the leadership on the pitch at the moment. I mentioned that certainly during the 90 minutes. I think when you've got Simon Lukman, it will be players like that off the pitch. It's difficult to have somebody who comes off the bench is hustling into positions. He's getting critical touches, but this hustling into positions. He's getting critical touches, but
5 goals in what's now 28 international appearances for the DRC. He's remaining up there. He's the man that a lot's being pinned on right now. And that's aimed towards him again. He won't reach it. Solo cut out. Bassi did well. It's, Ekor Adams is trying to cut down the ground, but it was a speculative one for him to chase. Ryan Sapenga. Chance to cut inside again, and his final touch was far too loose. He has helped though. It's Siddiqui who's nipped in. Siddiqui's done brilliantly to get the cross in here. It's slightly overlong. It's Nathaniel Mbuku, who scored in the forward away win to South Sudan. Right in front of goal. That was a dangerous one. It's going to end up in the net. The DRC will celebrate, but surely it's one that cannot count. Nwabali ended up in the deck. Mayele back to have his words now, but as soon as the keeper went down, that was surely only ever going to go one way.
Yeah, free kick. Delivery in. Nwabali's got hands on that. Collision comes, contact with Sapenga. Mayele was able to poke it home. Calm, controlled decision. Nwabali back on his feet.
Sapenga was trying the overhead kick, and he obviously couldn't see Nwabali, but it goes down as recklessness, as dangerous play. Whether he meant to or not, he took the keeper out. Keeper's down, and then that's it. Play halted. But it has to be a firm warning for Nigeria. DRC have found another way past the Nigerian defence. It was a quality ball into the centre, and they're trying another one now. Ryan Sapenga again. Just lost control this time. Not his, taken by Chideru Juke. It's not quite been as influential as he was in the semi-final on Thursday night, having come off the bench. He obviously scored in that early enough in extra time. That option is still there. Here's another option. It's Bruno Onyemaichi coming on for Zaidu Sanusi. Interesting one. Decent game.
Yeah, this is interesting. Zaidu Sanusi has been pegged back a little, has been able to make the kind of runs down the left flank that he's so used to doing. This is interesting. Onyemaechi making his way on now.
So 5 changes for Nigeria, but they get a bonus one for extra time, so there's still one more to go. So Chusteko can be brought on Onyedika, wonderful in the Champions League this season. He can still come on. Asai Samuel, who started last time. Alassane Youssef of the New England Revolution. Prospects. Still prospects, a lot of them. And floated dangerously up and will be knocked down again by Sepenga. It was a real threat. Mayele trying to reach. Wabali timing it well. A time for the Nigerian defence to beware. They are being stretched right now. Sepenga making a lot happen. He's coming into his own a lot more, no doubt about it, in this first period of extra time. Smart ball played in by Noah Siddiqui. Now is the chance for Mayele, and the flag will go up for offside. Just a step or two beyond. And the flag can go up when play breaks down, and Calvin Bassey breaking down.
Yeah, nothing marginal about that. Again, clearly in an offside position. Mayele just breaking a little too early. Bassey taking another body blow before the passage of play was stopped. This is a look back to a moment ago when Sepenga looked to nod that down into the path of the onrushing Mayele, just a little too far ahead of him. But again, Wabali not coming to the ball. He's waiting for the ball to come to him, and that leaves the opportunity for an opponent to sneak in, steal in, and find a goal. The Nigerian fans having found their voices now.
Trumpets are well out.
You almost expect to see these days. I mean, they've qualified for 6 of the last 7 World Cups. They missed out in 2022. This is cement. Missed out in 2006 as well. But they are a side that are quality from start to finish. They can beat the very best on their day, and you almost expect them to be drawn in Argentina's group at a World Cup as well.
You can only wonder why he's no longer on the pitch. Be a knock. It could only be a knock, surely.
Yeah, you have to think that.
Good cross. Now they've got plenty up. It went beyond Ndidi. He had a couple of stabs at it. Might have come off a hand somewhere too. And finally, really good job. Unobtrusive. It's the old massive calls to make. Probably should have said that in 20 minutes time. This man might have had a massive call to make. Definitely seems to have blunted Nigeria up front. It may have been the case that Osimhen had to come off at half-time.
We've got 20 minutes left to play. Key here for DRC is that they've got 3 subs available to them still. Nigeria only have 1.
Constant attacking from the DRC, the RDC. 7 attempts to 3, most possession as well. They've had a lot going their way in extra time. That was almost another one. Mayele on the turn. The heat is on, definitely. They've had precious few opportunities in the match, but that was among the best of them.
Glorious chance, lovely passage of play out wide, drawn into a really good position. He's so good at turning and shooting. Takes the step away from Bassey, creates space for himself. Looks like he's got ages to get the shot in. And fires it over. Disappointing for Mayele, disappointing for DRC, relief for Nigeria, who stay alive. The Super Eagles have never done anything easily, have they?
Congolese have had 80% of the ball in extra time. That's startling. It's not good news for Nigeria, and they almost lost it again. A slice from Ndidi. Not right now able to get the ball up to Tolu. Quite a few years in his club career, he would have needed quite a few chances for a goal, but then that ratio constantly improving. Just heard from Sporty Bet. To win this playoff final, it's Nigeria 1.85, the DRC 1.9. That is straight winners anyway, no matter what the method, extra time or penalties. Over 18s only. Please, please bet responsibly. Tolu waiting in the centre. That's a lot more like it. Tolu got there too, and he just couldn't keep the header down. That was the opening. Nigeria need a lot more of that.
Yeah, really, really good. Tolu getting into the right area again. Decent cross from out wide. A bit of frustration from Akura Adams, who believed the ball might have landed at his feet. And Tolu not touched it, but I think Tolu doing the right thing. Narokodare going for it. Just unable to reach the heights where he was able to get behind the ball rather than under it.
Tolu had to go for that in his position. It's in the right place for him. Just couldn't keep the header down. Season for his club at the time, Racing Gate. 45 appearances, 23 goals. Almost won every 2 games. And he's done well to avoid injury as well the past few years. That's an important thing. And maybe with the new Brim at Wolves, Rob Edwards in, he gets more starting opportunities. Has played 7 games in the league. No goals yet though. Quite a queue in terms of trying to break into the striking ranks for Nigeria. There's an immense amount of talent everywhere, including very many who aren't able to break into the Super Eagles pecking order right now. Tolu trying to control it. Moses Simon. He's against Tigray. It's a quarter after midnight. You can stay up for that. Lots of international action with Brazil for you on Tuesday night, and Liverpool against Nottingham Forest on Saturday. They've had a coaching change or 2 this season already. Live and free on Sporty TV, on YouTube as well, on NTA Nigeria right now, but somebody is. That is a spectacular look. If they make it to the World Cup, he might become one of those prominent fans during the tournament next summer. One minute of added time at the end of the first period, and probably beyond that, because play's halted due to that injury that's erupted for Nathaniel Mbuku. Now, they've only made 3 changes to the DRC. Cramp coming into it. He's played every game for Montpellier in Ligue 2 this season. They're pushing for promotion. Had been with Dinamo Zagreb last campaign. Already promoted a couple of seasons ago with Saint-Etienne. He's played well. He's another Parisian by breath. Featured in the French Olympic squad 4 years ago. Is how it remains. A couple of openings for the DRC. Miele's goal ruled out for Tipenga's foul on the goalkeeper. Tolu heading just over. There have been chances at both ends, but no extra goals. Half-time and extra time. It is Nigeria 1, the DRC 1.
Yeah, well, there's Troost-Ekong just having a word with Wilfred Ndidi now, and I think he's one of the players that's perhaps unfortunate not to be on the park at the moment. He brings a certain leadership on the pitch, which I think Nigeria has lacked, certainly after the substitutions that saw the likes of Iwobi and Osimhen off the pitch. Eric Schell, very emotional. You know that there's a lot of tactics being discussed as well. He's very, very astute. Regulation time action. It's going to be a change here for DRC.
Now it's a big one. It's Michel Barakwisha, who is coming on for his debut from Brussels. He broke through at Standard Liège along with his brother William Barakwisha, Belgian underage international, and like William, then declared for the DRC, having not enjoyed call-ups at senior level by Belgium. DRC international now makes his debut, and what a stage to do it. Well, Mbuku had that straight. Barakwisha makes his senior international debut. Change of coach for him at club level as well recently. Brendan Rodgers departing Celtic. Martin O'Neill there right now. Well, it's a very important 15 minutes for him and the DRC and Nigeria. 1-1 entering the second period of extra time. Needless to say, it would be penalties next. Chancel Mbemba. Definitely it's a big call. He, the goalkeeper Matthew Apollo, and Mario Stoikens all called up by Sebastian de Sabre. They all had been Belgian underage internationals, like Joris Kayembe. Kayembe had been a senior Belgian international. There was a time when they were the bosses of the nation. Not now. It's pulled away across, could be an opening. Almost fell towards Brian Sapeng on the near side. Edo Kayembe, clever ball, didn't quite come off. Solid nod down for Mutisame. Belted away well and quickly and firmly and accurately by Sami Ajayi.
It's not often you see Shemi Ajayi just kicking the ball out of play on the far side. He's generally very accurate at picking out a player upfield. He's very good in maintaining possession in that regard. So the genuine pressure that's being applied here by DRC is incredibly difficult to overstate. It's impressive from Sebastian de Sabre's side. Two giants in their own respect. Maybe not quite the glory days for Democratic Republic of Congo, as Zaire were virtually unstoppable. Vita Club were CAF Champions League winners, or African Cup of Champion clubs as it was back in the 70s. He joined Muhammad who joined in 1972. They won it in 73 courtesy of his goals largely, and won the Africa Cup of Nations with his 9 goals, still a tournament record.
That's unusual seeing, Barakwisha wearing those colours. But here he is now. Those of you who've been sporty TV viewers for a couple of years probably recognise him from the last few years of watching the Belgian Pro League on this channel. There was one other actually big thing to spot during those half-time discussions. Victor Osimhen in doing a bit of geeing up. So I imagine it has to be an injury that he's gone off with. No argument. No dispute, no hard feelings, maybe a few tight feelings. It's out for a throw, close to the corner flag. Well, sent out again by Bassi. Wan-Bissaka. Set up the line well by Tunzevi. Sapenga's becoming a lot more prominent, and is that in? They think it is! No call yet from the referee. Was that saved on the line? Thing's been given as a free kick out for a foul. Edu Kayembe arguing the toss, and Mayele as well. Well, it looks to have been whistled up for a foul right there before it came close to crossing the line.
Yeah, the referee's blown for a foul here by Sadiki. Lovely cross in, dangerous looking ball from Balikwisha getting involved. That's a delightful delivery. And the foul coming in on Onimaichi. Goes down under the challenge. Ball, from my perspective, crossed over the line, but it's not going to count here. Twice DRC have plugged the ball beyond Nabali since scoring the equaliser. Neither will count because of infringements. It will be checked before play gets back underway. Well, the check must be complete because the referee signals to Nabali to get the ball back into play. With Nigeria living dangerously.
Similar circumstances really for both disallowed goals, really. Spectacular attempt to put the ball in the net, ended up being a spectacular foul, but it's whipped in dangerously again. Ayala trying to get there, Bassi in the right place. 10 minutes of extra time to go, 1-1 in Rabat for the final African World Cup ticket. Out for the throw. And that ticket is not claimed fully tonight. It's just the ticket to Mexico for the right to stay there next summer. Mexico, Canada and the United States hosting the World Cup. It's taken up well by Brian Sepenga. Oh, he's lost out. Bit sloppy. He's knocked forward trying to pick out Tolu. It was well played by Bruno Onyemaechi of Olympiacos. Top of the table right now. They've only played 4 games in Greece. Not sure how that can be the case in November, but it is. Really strong burst again in towards the area by Michel Balikwisha. So a good sporting family as well. He was born Michelangelo Balikwisha, but goes with Michel Ange instead. Another footballing brother, William. That's a grand name. Currently at Oud Heavily Leuven. Now coached by Felicia Massu, who's the man who discovered Victor Osimhen, really gave him a shot at a professional career at Charleroi.
Pressure on Frederick here, and he's on again. We do have a substitution available to them again, but just another look at Juka with a rescue act. And the pressure from Balikwisha has been impressive so far in the few minutes that he's been on the park.
They know each other so well, having been club mates for a couple of years.
Receiving last few instructions from Eric Schell.
From Nantes would be the 6th and final change. He's the bonus change allowed in extra time. Phil Frederick is not going to be able to make it. With the spectre of penalties coming, there's no Iwobi, no Osimhen, no Lookman. Certainly got game in that department. Not a forward strongly, Mayale trying to make it through, and alongside him Chipenga.
There was time there, but Shemi Ajayi managed to recover nicely and put in the clearance.
In terms of penalty taking, Tolu certainly doesn't have 100% record at club level.
He might be interested in taking a penalty for DRC should they reach. That is Lionel Mpasi. He's got a good few penalties scored. Goalkeeper.
Wishes pushed it up well. There might be an opening here for Edu Kembe. He's got support found by Meale. Being dragged a bit, but still in play. Back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. With Tasami. Edu Kembe, chance to cross. That was the chance to cross. What he did with it, I couldn't tell you. Massively overhit. Well, it's another big loss for Nigeria here. They're taking Tolu off. Is that right? Wasiem set to come on, and Tolu, who came on with 14 minutes to go, and who might well have been a penalty taker in the shootout, has been dragged off. Hello.
Well, Eric Schell has his plan, but I can't see it, to be fair. Benjamin Frederick is struggling a little. He's not as comfortable. Tolu is very good in many aspects, and you would expect him to be a penalty taker, as you say. But this is interesting.
That was their last change that they're allowed. That was substitution number 6.
So they've changed the formation again. Juke and Simon will push forward down the flanks, and Adams has gone very central. This is not what I expected, shall we say.
Make it make sense, Dwayne, please. I can't work that out at all for the life of me. Tolu's on, he's had a few moments of danger. Good chance in the first period of extra time. Yeah, we're talking about penalties, but there's still a few minutes left for him to score the winning goal. He's not going to now, and his record from penalties, well, it's not going to change tonight because he's not on the pitch anymore. I don't get it myself. Here's the new Chipenga.
The only thing I can think of is that Schell is a little scared of how DRC are playing, and he's looking to shore up his defence. That's the only thing I can think of. But he's not that kind of manager.
Here's Balikwisha. He has brought an extra dimension to the DRC since coming on, and the cross is good. And it might fall for Wan-Bissaka here. An important flick away, right in time by Bassi. Big moment. Maichi alongside and covering, and they've got basically 2 banks of defence right now, Nigeria. Another good cross in. Wan-Bissaka this time. And it'll fall for Masuaku. Too strong a touch, easily will be claimed by Chidera Uzuke.
Back to when Lookman pulled that ball back in towards 3 players. Osimhen just ahead of the ball, and Didi, I think, was the player who eventually ran over it. You tucked that away, and that's a glorious scoring chance. You tucked that away. It's 2-0 at the time, and this game looks a little easier. That's not how football works. There's Osimhen again.
It's almost as if he's doing a coaching job himself, like
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo during the Euro 2016 final. Yeah. Also on his feet, Rafael Onyedika. He's not coming on now to matches this week in which he's not had the privilege. 17 appearances for Nigeria. Rave reviews in the Champions League for Club Brugge. 3-3 against Barcelona last week, and it should have been a win, really. It was a very important cutout again by Bassi, and almost opened the door for Chipenga on the near side.
What also puzzles me is William Troost-Ekong is not only a leader, he's not only the squad captain, he is the penalty taker for Nigeria. The penalty taker. You've got penalties looming, you need leadership on the park, and this is not to suggest Chidozie Awaziem is a bad substitution. I think he's an excellent player. But there are certain things that Troost-Ekong brings that might be missing should they go to penalties. I am puzzled by a few decisions that have been made today.
It'll all be justified if Nigeria win. But will they? Back by Chipenga again. It's been 64% possession in extra time for the DRC, and at one stage that was 80%. They're knocking it around, and if any side's going to have a chance before the end, it has to be them. Nigeria trying to swamp them in midfield and in their own half. No way through at all for Masuaku down the left-hand side, so they'll try the right, and Chancellor Mbemba. Remember, it was in stoppage time when he got the winner on Thursday against Cameroon, and they have a free kick too in a great position. They've also got 2 changes left to make. They'll be having a think about penalties as well now, maybe. Just a little bump by Echo Adams. They are changing goalkeeper. It's Timothy Fayulu of Noah in Armenia, who's replacing Lionel Mpase.
Well, this is an interesting one. Certainly countries over the years have made changes late with goalkeepers to gain an advantage of some sort in the penalty shootout, but Abbas is a fine penalty saver and a fine penalty taker as well. Set piece.
Great chance, good save. Kept it out, only just. That was vital from Wabali. And that would have decided it before penalties. And he's hit the post himself.
Yeah, scrambles across really well, does Stanley Nwabali on this occasion. Flicked on nicely from a set piece. Really close to that upright. Takes no chances though, covers it well. That was headed in. It was Mbemba as well with the head. Almost another late winner for him. 2 in a week. He hit that post hard, Stanley Nwabali. Well, he's up and he'll give it a go for the final few moments. Well, that's it. 2 penalties we go. Was meant to be another minute of added time, but we won't have any of it. And it will be penalties to see if Nigeria or the DRC will survive onto the final set of World Cup playoffs in Mexico in March, because at the end of 120 minutes, no further addition to the score, it is Nigeria 1, the Democratic Republic of Congo 1, to decide the final playoff spot for Africa.
To take a penalty, bearing in mind he was substituted off. So then, at the end of 261 African qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the last of them needs a penalty shootout to see who will go to the Interconfederation playoffs. A win tonight does not even get you to the World Cup. You still have to go through another competition. It is a long, tough, grueling road for the final team, or teams at the moment, from Africa looking to go to Canada, Mexico and the United States of America. There's a few players sitting down now at the end of that, hardly surprisingly. A few lying down, having stretching exercises done. Now's the time. Who wants to take a penalty? Who still not only feels brave enough to take one, but who feels physically able to take one as well?
It is the end of extra time in this final playoff to determine the sole ticket for the African World Cup qualifying series, and it's 1-1, but there's been an interesting extra time. We are going straight to penalties now, and I have with me, of course, Blessing and Gideon. And guys, now it's not about how the game panned out, whether the tactics was good or not. It's about our players scoring the penalties and our goalkeeper in Stanley Nwabali, who just made a good save towards the end of this contest, being up to the task. Our last penalty shootout was pretty good.
Well, definitely, but I'd expect the team that had much more confidence, ending the extra time, perhaps going to the penalties with a little much more confidence.
Yeah, as you would expect, and I think with the extra time we saw a more dominant side, and that is speaking of DRC and the way they played in extra time. They look like the team right now. A lot of momentum is on the side of the Congolese contingent, while the Super Eagles just look like a shell of themselves ever since they got the first goal. We just feels like a lifetime away in the first half, and you just feel at this point it's anybody's game. We know who's going to have the strongest nerves, strongest mentality, and whatnot.
And speaking of being anybody's game, I wanted to mention the goalkeeper who was brought in, Timothy Fayulu. I mean, he's a penalty specialist. I mean, for them to change the goalkeeper, it tells you that they have some level of confidence in that goalkeeper being the one to stop the penalty. Now, his opposite number in Nwabali, I don't think we've seen him in that much responsibility, so much in that kind of responsibility where he's tasked with saving penalties. But on one hand, why it's about saving the penalties, and then the players themselves, I mean, what is their mental state like at this point in time?
Okay.
To be able to convert penalty, that is the issue for me here.
Now, of course, Timothy plays for Sion FC in Switzerland, so I mean, if the manager has a strong confidence in him, it means that perhaps it's someone that can make the difference for DRC tonight.
Perhaps, yeah.
All right, now it's time for us to head over to the Moulay Hassan Stadium, where we would have the penalty shootout to determine the final ticket to represent Africa in the Intercontinental World Cup playoff next year. But let's hope, from the point of view of Nigeria, that we can come out of this and win this penalty shootout. We'll see you after the shootouts.
5 times each.
And this is a moment for goalkeepers to genuinely shine.
It's not the only thing shining. They've got the lasers ready. That's in quite a prominent position on the halfway line. That's a relatively expensive ticket, I'd have thought. No doubt the officials are on the near side. But this is it. All of the outfield players on halfway. And a big role for Stanley Nwabali. And now for Timothy Fayulu, the DRC substitute goalkeeper. Kong did score from the spot against Lesotho, but he's not around now. DRC will take first. So a few instructions, final instructions for the goalkeepers. VAR is in play for it, remember, if they come off the line and save it. The highest of stakes. A spot at the World Cup. And it will be Nigeria to take first. Calvin Bassey to face, who's only played one league game all season in the Armenian League. So Calvin Bassey to begin, and Nigeria to begin. He's at the Nigerian end, and Bassey balloons it! It's into the Nigerian fans behind the goal! It is a big miss to start the shootout.
But if you go back to the start of this match, Onyeka inside 3 minutes gives Nigeria a lead. It's a glorious platform to go on and win this match, claim a place in the Intercontinental playoffs with a surely fancier chance. It's not the worst idea. Calvin Bassey, who's done so much in the game proper to keep Nigeria in the game, has missed the first penalty.
It's a super save by Nwabali. He stood his ground. He kept it out. Bassey bailed out. Goalless in the opening round of spot kicks in Rabat.
Mutusami, again, usually so crisp with the strike, hits it really firmly, and Wabali gets across brilliantly, and he recently saved a penalty similar to this against Bradley Grobler, one of the most lethal strikers in South Africa, in the Premiership in South Africa for Chippa United. Earned them a point. 90th minute save from the penalty mark.
For Nigeria. Now based in Paris. Simon. Saved! Fayulu kept it out. Still no breakthrough in the shootout. Still 0-0. Not so Simon.
Moses Simon, heaps of experience that he brings to this side. You expect him to put this away. Takes a little false step on the way to the penalty mark, and now he buries his head in his jersey. 3 kicks, not a score yet.
Big moment for Noah Siddiqui of Sunderland. Formerly of Uni Saint-Gilloise, the Belgian champions. He's never taken a penalty in his career. He has now. This is responsibility. Plain and simple. Wabali told to get back onto his line. Siddiqui having to reset. Noah Siddiqui, he's passed tests before. He's got that one in. DRC in front. Good spot kick. Low, powerful, decisive. DRC score first.
Well, these sides have been doing their homework from a goalkeeping perspective. Nwabali behind the line goes the right way, but there's much power behind this from Siddiqui. It looks like Nwabali expected that to go high, however, rather than low. So Siddiqui tucks it in as a result.
Akor Adams. The first 2 penalties unconverted from a Nigeria point of view. 6 penalties in his career. He has scored 3 and he has missed 3. For the new international, 2 goals in his first 3 caps. Lovely spot kick. Nigeria are in the hunt again.
There's still an uncertainty. They trail in the shootout by number of kicks, and they're level in terms of successfully converted attempts. Very nicely taken. Akor Adams picked his spot, and it's incredibly difficult for goalkeepers to even get across to those that are so wide. It's a little bit of a risk, but if you've got the accuracy, it's going to be an advantage for you in a shootout, and indeed Adams proves it here.
Axel Tuanzebe. His first penalty of his career. Saved! Superb save by Wabali! A superb stop. An extraordinary shootout. 3 rounds. And it's 1-1.
Well, this is turning out to be one of those that'll go down in history as one to look out for all the wrong reasons. Recently, England, the first side of the Women's European Championships to miss 3 successive penalties and still advance against Sweden. That was, I think it was 30% conversion rate in the shootout. We've got something similar here, 2 converted from 6.
That was Jennifer Falk, and she ended up saving a 4th as well. But they still lost. She took a penalty herself. Fayulu standing firmly and tall with DRC. 4th penalty. Bruno Onyemaichi. That's confident. That's 2-1 Nigeria. In front for the first time in the shootout. That's a good spot kick. That's what they needed to calm nerves after failing to score the first two.
Yeah, you're right. The importance here is the fact that Nigeria have gone in front for the first time. Struck it very firmly, struck it wide. Fayulu at full stretch, but again going the right way. The analysts have certainly played their part. Here's Fister Mayele, usually so very good from the penalty mark, 12 yards out.
Mayele to bring it level. Wabale moved early. Mayele puts it through for 2-2. High stakes with the final round. Regular round of penalties to come.
Well, this is where we go to sudden death. 2-2. Fister Mayele sends Wabale the wrong way. Wabale going to his right. Mayele turning inside out. Good right boot and sliding it past Wabale.
Very confidently done. Chidera Ujuke. The moment of his career. This for the lead. Ujuke right down the middle. First penalty of his career. He's converted it. Nigeria lead in the final round. And he goes straight to his goalkeeper to urge support for the final potential save.
Well, that is a very confident penalty. Bottle landing on the pitch near where he took the kick just moments before he struck it. And still manages to compose himself and send it beyond the diving goalkeeper, going straight down the middle. Now, this needs to go.
That's caused a bit of kerfuffle, and what a player on his international debut. It is Michel Orange Balikwisha to tie it up if he can. It's Balikwisha, it's in! Brilliant penalty! Artistry from the boy who was born Michelangelo. A cool spot kick for 3-3, and it's sudden death now.
Oh, that's a superb strike. Hits that with some venom. Excellent placement. And to do that in the driving rain on debut against one of the top sides on the continent, that's impressive. And now the experience of Shemi Ajayi.
Ajayi is already set to take the kick, and Fayulu isn't. Fayulu stepping backwards. Ajayi forwards, and it's saved! Fayulu got there! The door is open. Ajayi denied.
Potential heartbreak for Nigeria here. The experienced Ajayi steps up, and Fayulu at full stretch to his left brilliantly denies. An incredibly powerful shot. It needed a little height, to be fair. There was not too much wrong with that penalty attempt.
They were starting to celebrate. Not yet. Chancellor Mbemba, Mr. Experience. The winning goal on Thursday night in the semi-final. Needing to keep his bottle here. And Mbemba stepping up. He's won it. It's the DRC on the way to Mexico. And maybe on the way to the World Cup. Nigeria are out. They'd scored 3 penalties in a row. But then in sudden death, Ajayi was saved. Nothing Wabale could do with that spot kick. the most capped player in DRC history. Cap 101 for Chancel Mbemba, and it's room 101 for Nigeria. He will march on. It's been a massive night for them and for their boss Sebastian Del Sabra, and particularly for Chancel Mbemba. It finishes 1-1 after extra time. It's the DRC who take it 4-3 on penalties, and this was the kick that decided it.
Takes full responsibility always, does Chancel Mbemba, and he steps up and absolutely delivers, hammers it home with aplomb, and DRC eliminate Nigeria. Moses Simon failing to convert with the third kick of the shootout. It looked like it was going to be a tame affair in the end. It was a very tense affair, drama-filled. DRC claim it at the death. Nigeria World Cup dream is over. They failed to qualify for 2 games, 2 World Cups in succession now, but DRC are potentially 1 game away from advancing to their first as DRC, and their first since 1974 down to this. But congratulations to DRC, certainly.
We have lost some big names in Africa this week. Cameroon gone, and Nigeria now gone too. Still at least 1 more game for the DRC. Their ranking is a lot lower. They may not automatically be in that playoff final in March. We'll find out in the next few days, no doubt about that. But the DRC have made it, and Nigeria have not, because Chancel took his chance, didn't. Until next time, from Dwayne DeLocca and me, Will Downing, it's a sad game from here on in, and on penalties tonight, they did not. Until next time, it is farewell, and for Nigeria, for this World Cup campaign, it is adieu.
We lifted this side from where they were, but it wasn't quite enough. Which the Democratic Republic of Congo football team have not seen in generations.